Hey, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, I'm Michael, and this is where we break down life-changing skills in 5 minutes or less. No fluff, no nonsense, just simple steps you can take today to make your life a little better tomorrow. And speaking of steps you can take today, let me ask you something. Have you ever set a goal for yourself and then, a few weeks later, completely forgotten about it? Or maybe you got super pumped about a New Year's resolution, went hard for like 2 weeks, and then, nothing. You're not alone. We've all been there. And you know what? It's not because you lack motivation or discipline. It's probably because the goal itself wasn't set up in a way that made success possible. That's where SMART goals come in. No, I'm not just calling them SMART because they're clever. SMART is actually an acronym, and it's a framework that can turn your vague wishes into actual, achievable plans. So today, I'm going to show you exactly how to set SMART goals, and I promise it'll only take 5 minutes. Let's get into it. First off, what does SMART stand for? It's specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. If your goal checks all 5 of those boxes, you've just given yourself a way better shot at making it happen. So let's break each one down with an example to make it super clear. Imagine you want to get in better shape. That's a pretty common goal, right? But just saying, I want to get in shape, is way too vague. What does that even mean? Lose weight? Build muscle? Run faster? Be able to touch your toes without crying? Without getting specific, your brain doesn't even know where to start. So, step 1, make it specific. Instead of, I want to get in shape, say, I want to run a 5K without stopping. Boom. Now you've got something clear, something you can visualize. You know exactly what success looks like. Next, we've got measurable. This is huge because if you can't measure it, you can't track it. And if you can't track it, you won't know if you're making progress or not. Back to our example. Saying, I want to run a 5K is great, but how do you know you're getting closer? You need a way to measure it. So maybe you track how far you can run now without stopping. Maybe it's half a mile. Awesome. Write that down. Next week, you aim for 3/4 of a mile. You're measuring, you're tracking, and you're building momentum. Measurable keeps you honest and gives you that little hit of dopamine every time you level up. Now let's talk about achievable. This one's tricky because, hey, I'm all for dreaming big. But if your goal is so massive that it feels impossible, you're probably going to give up before you even start. If you've never run before, deciding you're going to do an ultramarathon next month is setting yourself up for disappointment. Start with something you can actually achieve based on where you are right now. That doesn't mean you're selling yourself short. It means you're building a foundation. Achievable doesn't mean easy. It means realistic. If you can currently jog for 5 minutes, aiming to run a full 5K in 6 weeks? That's a stretch, but totally doable. All right, moving on to relevant. This is where you ask yourself, does this goal matter to me? Not to your friend, not to your boss, not to some random influencer on Instagram. To you. Why do you want this? Why now? If your goal isn't connected to something meaningful in your life, it's way too easy to push it aside when things get busy. Maybe running a 5K matters because you want to feel healthier, have more energy to play with your kids, or prove to yourself that you can stick with something. Whatever it is, it has to resonate with you. Relevant is the why behind the goal, and without it, the how won't really matter. Finally, we have time-bound. This is where you set a deadline. Otherwise, your goal is just going to hang out in limbo forever. Saying, I want to run a 5K is fine, but saying, I want to run a 5K in the next 2 months creates urgency. Deadlines make things real. They push you to take action, and they help you avoid that classic, I'll start tomorrow, trap. We've all fallen into that one, right? So give yourself a clear time frame. You can always adjust it if life happens, but without one, you're flying blind. So let's pull it all together. Instead of saying, I want to get in shape, your SMART goal might sound like this. I want to run a 5K without stopping within the next 2 months, because I want to feel stronger and have more energy for my family. I'll start by running 3 times a week, tracking my distance, and increasing it by half a mile each week. That's specific. It's measurable. It's achievable, relevant, and time-bound. It's SMART. And now, instead of a fuzzy idea, you've got a clear plan, and your brain loves clear plans. It knows what to do next. It's not overwhelmed. And that's what makes all the difference. And here's the best part. This works for any goal. Want to save money? A SMART goal could be, I want to save $500 in 3 months by cutting back on eating out and transferring $50 a week into a savings account. Want to learn a new skill? Try, I want to learn how to cook 3 new healthy meals by the end of this month by practicing 1 new recipe each week. Smart goals take the guesswork out of it. They keep you focused. And when you hit them, and you will hit them, you get that boost of confidence that makes you want to set another one. And another one. So here's my challenge for you. Take 5 minutes after this video and write down 1 smart goal. Just 1. Think of something you've been wanting to do, but maybe it's felt too big or too vague. Break it down using this framework and write it out. And hey, if you're feeling brave, drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and I'd love to see what you're working on. Maybe you'll inspire someone else who's watching this right now. If you found this video helpful, give it a like. And if you're not already subscribed, what are you waiting for? We've got tons of quick, actionable tips like this to help you build the life you want, 1 skill at a time. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Now go crush that goal, and I'll see you in the next one.